Like sand in your underpants, so are the toys of our lives. I need to call Jean Black. Sure is cloudy out there. I wonder if Doc's thinking about me too. Doc. This is John Black. Doc. It's me. Who? It's me. Stefano, is this you playing a dirty trick on me? Doc. It's me. Do whatever I can to find you, Doc. It's me. Doc. It's me. Who's me? Franco, is that you? No, it's not Franco. Franco, if that's you, you got something coming. Doc. No, it's not Franco. Well, that's just downright despicable. It's a ToyNight Show with Sammy G. It's Sammy G. Thank you. Welcome back to the ToyNight Show. I am your host, Sammy G. And yes, it's been quite a while since you've seen me grace your YouTube feed. But that doesn't mean we've stopped collecting. That doesn't mean we've stopped adding anything to the collection or enjoying the hobby. I'd like to say thanks for having me back. Thank you for staying with us. And we have a special episode of the ToyNight Show. It's a welcome back episode, I guess. But I've still added quite a few things to the collection. Hopefully you'll see some videos here very soon going over some of those things that we have picked up. But before we get into everything, take a look at this. Please, donate today. You too can help a man-child's dream come true. For only $1. And he finally did it. We're here at Frank's house, a part of Blast from the Past Bazaar here in Findlay, Ohio. And I'm here with the owner, Frank's. Frank's, tell me, what kind of things are you looking for, Frank's?
I'm looking for 80s toys, G.I. Joe, Transformers, Thundercats, He-Man, basically any toy line from the 80s, Care Bears, My Little Pony. Also, we are buying bulk Pokemon cards, no amounts too big or too small.
Don't forget the wind-up toys, Battle Piece, quite a few other things.
Everything.
All the things.
All the things. Frank's house. We're located at 721 West Hardin Street in Findlay, Ohio.
No collection too big or small. And you can contact Frank's how?
You can either stop in the store Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6 p.m., or any of my social media accounts.
And the social media accounts are right up there on screen. Awkward pause. Stop on out here to Blast from the Past Bazaar. See my man here, Frank's at Frank's house, and we'll make you a deal.
Frank's house.
Yes, folks, he finally did it. Congratulations to Blast from the Past LLC, aka Frank's house, friend of the channel, for finally getting his business off the ground. I'm very proud and happy for that business to be quite successful so far. And actually, he sent us a few gifts here to the show. And we've got Mad Magazine. And this one here is depicting WWF from, I believe this is 89. Yeah, 19 '89. Of course, this is when WWF was really, in my opinion, at one of its peaks for me. You might know it as WWE, World Wrestling, whatever. But this was classic WWF wrestling for me, and of course, Mad Magazine with all the satire it does. Great magazine there. But gift there from Frank's house. Also, this from '85 at the peak, actually the start of Hulkamania. There with the headlock around Alfred E. Newman. What me worry, and also last but not least, but one of my all-time favorite issues of Mad Magazine. I had this as a kid. I remember picking this up at the IGA, saying, "Mom, can I get a magazine?" And of course, she obliged, and I had this one. Of course, this one's in a lot better shape than the one that I still own, but nonetheless, we have Mad Magazine there. So shout out to Frank's house. And we should be doing some episodes from Frank's house here very soon. Stay tuned to the channel for those. We've also picked up some other things. And of course, you know, I love Happy Meal toys, and they brought back changeables. And it was quite the bumpy ride with changeables because I ended up with quite a few duplicates. And thankfully, I should have the full set here shortly. But I also picked up this fairly interesting piece. It is 3D printed, and it looks just like a Happy Meal box, but you're able to put your Happy Meal toys on there. Don't have these guys opened up just yet, but see, these are some of the changeables, and this is actually pretty freaking cool, and I'd love to actually have a few more of these to help display the Happy Meal toys that I do have, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be able to pick these up at Blast from the Past very soon. And at the time of this recording, this is not been released in theaters yet, but this is from the Super Mario Galaxy movie. This is the Hatching Yoshi. And stay tuned to the channel for an unboxing of this because I'm really interested to see what is happening with this guy. It looks very interesting to say the least, but stay tuned to the channel for an unboxing and review of the Super Mario Galaxy Yoshi egg. Also coming in hot from Target, the latest in the Studio Series 86 Transformer line. We have the re-release of Hound. We have a newer version of Hot Rod in the more cartoon accurate colors. And we also have the re-release of Scourge. So more from the Studio Series 86 line of Transformers to add to the collection. You may see these on an upcoming episode of the ToyNight Show as well. That'll do it here for the recent pickups, and we'll be right back with cartooned Lowriders right after this. That's right. You gotta keep dancing, and you also have to stand. And I stand with my uncle Rudy. Of course, uh, my uncle is battling something very concerning, but we're going to stay positive. We're not even going to name or give a name to what he's going through because no weapon formed against him shall prosper. And you know, I just want to, you know, really just give a shout out to family right now, and really just you know, if you want to go back and look at, you know, what is the history of Sammy G and where does he come from, right? You know, I had a lot of influence from my family growing up, and you know, my uncles were a huge part of my life, and I could, just name them all and just tell, just some of the things that I grew up with them and how they influenced a lot of what you see behind me here. And, with my uncle Arthur, and, he always bought my cousin Victor GI Joes. And that was my introduction into GI Joe. And I would always go over there and play with his GI Joes. And I was a Star Wars kid, so I always had the Star Wars figures. And it was different for me to see the GI Joes because they had more articulation than what my Kenner Star Wars figures had. But I would always go over there, and a great man, Arthur, a great father, great just a great human being, and I love you, Uncle Art, and my Uncle Oscar as well. I love you. Just seen you very recently, and just want to give you a shout out as well. I remember playing a Nintendo over at the house, and I remember going over and staying there as a kid when my parents would leave me at family members' house, and I remember having I think Jacob had the Mask figures, and I remember that was my introduction to Mask back then. And I talk about some of my other uncles that were really heavily involved in collecting. My uncle Adam, such a huge collector, and he was the one that really got me interested into cards back in the day. And we collected cards, and he would buy cards off us and got us introduced into starting lineups. And that was a pretty big influence on my life. And collecting was just a pretty big influence. And my uncle Louis was I guess the biggest influence to me when it came to Nintendo. I grew up with an Atari, so a lot of what I played was Pac-Man, Galaxian, Dig Dug, those kind of things. And I remember the first time I played Super Mario Brothers, and it was at his house, and it was life changing. It's so much so that anytime that um, anytime that my mom had to leave us anywhere, it was like, can we stay at Louis? And my Aunt Alice and would have us there, and he would allow us to play the Nintendo. And such a big influence on me. And when it comes to collecting, I can't leave out my Uncle Murdoch because he taught me how to collect phone numbers. You know what I mean? But that leaves me. Well, I can't leave out my Uncle John. My Uncle John's and my Uncle Jesse were also big parts of my life as well. As a shout out to them. But when I talk about uh, a really big influence on my life, I have to talk about my Uncle Rudy and how much of a big impact he made on my life. Talking about someone who is just the nicest guy that you would ever meet. I can't tell you that I've ever seen my Uncle Rudy lose his temper, show anger. He lets out a catorces every now and then, but and throws his brown stuff out on the lawn. But someone who is just really a great influence on my life, and to see what he's going through and to see the positivity that comes from him, and the fact that he's dancing and he's laughing through it, has really left a lasting impression on my life and will forever leave an impression on my life. And he's the reason why I struggle with these guys every Sunday, and I'm a Browns fan and I'm a Tigers fan. And from the intro, you probably didn't understand what we did there, but that was kind of a spoof on Days of Our Lives. And it's me. And that was something that laughing and laughter and jokes and my sense of humor, I feel like I get from my Uncle Rudy. We share the same birthday month, and we're just a day apart. My mom couldn't hold out for too much longer. She had to kick me out, I guess. So I came out into this world a day before him, and not a day before him, but our dates a day before each other. A lot of why I do what I do now here on the YouTube channel is the fact that my Uncle Rudy and we used to do interviews, and he would always act like he was the newscaster and give me the microphone and interview me. And that's from his background in radio. And he's such a great public speaker and announcer. And, I admire that about him. And he's taken me, and when he would do radio for, basketball and football. He's taken me and allowed me to actually get on the mic a couple of times. And, I always appreciated that and I admire that. And I just want to say that, I stand with you, Uncle Rudy, and I appreciate everything that you have shown me throughout my life, the example that you've set. And I just want to tell you I love you. And I'm going to be standing with you through everything. So um, thank you. We'll be right back. Here we have the cartooned Series 1, and I found these at Target. And I picked up half of the wave, 4 of the 8 vehicles out there. I got the 64 Chevy Impala because that is iconic to me. I got the Monte Carlo because my dad had a Monte Carlo. Not that same year, but he had a Monte Carlo. The 59 Impala as well, because that's just a sharp-looking vehicle. And the 57 Chevy Bel Air because iconic vehicles. And these caught my eye on an end cap there while I was out toy hunting. And these are to have LED light. And back in the early to mid 90s, I was heavy into Lowriders and, got Lowrider magazine and was all about Lowriders back then. And, because that's all you saw in the music that I listened to is music videos. But we're going to pop these open. And I don't want to ruin these stands because kind of gives it a little bit of a backdrop there for your Lowrider. That's cool. So you can see the light underneath there, and that is super cool. You can pose it a couple different ways there. Batteries are included, and we're going to open up these other ones real quick. And here we have all 4. And the really interesting thing is the back chassis, the back axle, I guess, pops right up. You have the light switch underneath there that pops the light on. But these also, the front axle pivots there to allow you to do basically your 3-wheel motion. It's been a long time since I low rode, something like that. But you can really just pose them any which way you want, and that's actually pretty cool. A little pink action there, orange. Wow, this is actually some of the best looking iterations of lowriders that I've seen. This is actually really cool. And we're going to show some other video of there so you can see actually how it looks. And wow, that's actually very cool. I'll need to pick up the whole set because that is awesome. I love the lighting effects on that. $9.99 at Target a piece. And again, there's 8 vehicles in Series 1. I'm going to have to hunt down the rest of the wave because when I went back and looked at the end cap there or the side cap of these vehicles there, they were gone. So I have to hunt down the rest of them. All my friends own a Lowrider, and the Lowrider is something, something like that. But actually, it'd be really cool to get some of the homies and put these right next and pose them with them. I think that'd be pretty awesome. They're going to go right there with the other vehicles on the shelf. Very, very cool. So what do you think? Will you be picking up these cartooned Lowriders from Target or maybe Walmart? I don't know if these are Target exclusive or what, but these are very awesome nonetheless. So what do you think? Will you be picking these up? Is this a hard pass for you? Are you into George Lopez? Do you like Lowriders? I know I do. That's going to do it for this episode of the ToyNight Show. I'm Sammy G. We'll see you on the next one.